Most men think physical pleasure starts with technique. But in the USA, the women who wrote to me the most all said the same thing. What makes an intimate moment unforgettable isn't the touch itself. It's the emotional atmosphere the man creates around it. And that's exactly why so many men misunderstand how to create real connection during moments of closeness. Because a woman doesn't open up to pressure or performance or a man trying to do something right. She opens up when she feels emotionally safe, emotionally seen, and emotionally respected. And when you understand this, you realize that the real way to make her feel deeply connected has nothing to do with what your hands do and everything to do with what your presence communicates. Women feel pleasure when they feel comfortable, when they feel heard, when they feel that the man in front of them is paying attention to their breathing, their body language, their comfort level, their boundaries, their emotions, and when she senses that you're not rushing, not forcing, not expecting, but instead creating a moment that centers her emotional experience, her comfort, her pace, and her signals, her entire body relaxes, which is the true foundation of pleasure. And this is where men who understand emotional intelligence stand out, because they don't approach intimacy as a performance. They approach it as a communication, a connection, a slow unfolding of trust, where the woman feels she can actually let go without fear or tension. And that alone often becomes more powerful than anything physical. Real closeness isn't created by knowing techniques. It's created by understanding the psychology of safety, the warmth of your presence, the patience of your energy, the gentleness of your approach, and the respect you give to her personal pace. Because when a woman feels she isn't being rushed or judged, she opens up emotionally, physically, and mentally in a way she simply can't when she feels pressured. So if you truly want to give her an unforgettable experience, focus on creating an environment where she feels valued, where communication is natural, where you ask before assuming, where you follow her signals instead of forcing yours, and where she feels she can slow down, speak up, guide the moment, and trust that you'll respond to her with care. Because in the end, pleasure for a woman isn't triggered by your hands alone. It's triggered by your presence, your patience, and your emotional connection. And when she feels all three, that's when the moment becomes powerful, memorable, and deeply intimate. And the truth is, most men underestimate how much a woman's mind influences her experience. Because for her, closeness isn't just something that happens on the outside, it's something that begins in her thoughts, her comfort, her emotional environment. And in the stories that thousands of American women have shared, one pattern repeats itself constantly. The moments that felt the best to them were the ones where the man made them feel emotionally prioritized, not physically pressured. A woman relaxes when she feels understood, when she feels like the man beside her is tuned in to the smallest shifts in her body language, her breathing slowing down, the way she leans in, the way she responds when you speak softly, the way her shoulders drop when she feels genuinely safe. And that level of awareness is what separates an average moment from a deeply meaningful one. Because when you're paying attention, you don't just touch, you listen with your presence. You notice the rhythm of her comfort. You notice when she wants more connection and when she needs a pause. You notice when she is opening up emotionally and when she's trying to communicate something without words. And that level of observation, that emotional intelligence, creates a kind of trust that no physical technique can replace. Most men try to impress with intensity, but what women actually respond to is attentiveness. Creates a kind of trust that no physical technique can replace. Most men try to impress with intensity, but what women actually respond to is attentiveness. The feeling that you're not distracted, not thinking about performance, not acting out of pressure, but fully present with her. Presence is rare. Presence is powerful. Presence is what makes her feel she can let go without fear. Imagine the difference between someone who rushes and someone who makes her feel like she has all the time in the world. Imagine how her breathing shifts when she knows she won't be judged for expressing what she likes or doesn't like. Imagine how much more open she becomes when she knows she can guide you and you'll listen without ego. This is why emotional softness from a man becomes one of the strongest forms of attraction for a woman, Because it signals maturity, patience, and genuine care. And the deeper truth is this. When a woman senses that you prioritize her emotional experience over your own ego, her whole body responds differently. Her nervous system relaxes, her barriers drop, her trust increases. She becomes more expressive, more communicative, more connected, because her body finally feels safe enough to enjoy instead of brace, explore instead of guard, connect instead of retreat. This is why real intimacy is psychological first, physical second. When a man understands this, he stops trying to impress and starts trying to understand, and that shift alone is what makes a woman feel truly valued. The more respected she feels, the more responsive she becomes. The more patient you are, the more deeply she engages. And when she senses your intentions are rooted in respect, not pressure, something powerful happens. She meets your energy with her own openness. She mirrors your calm. She matches your presence. And that alignment, that emotional rhythm between two people, is what turns ordinary moments into something unforgettable. And what most men never realize is that for a woman, her emotional comfort determines everything, because her body can only open when her mind feels relaxed. And that relaxation comes from the way you communicate, the way you speak to her, the way you make her feel like she's not being rushed, not being judged, not being expected to perform, but simply allowed to feel. And American women especially talk about this openly, how rare it is to meet a man who understands the emotional side of intimacy, how refreshing it feels to be with someone who actually pays attention to their pace instead of his timeline, someone who puts connection before ego, someone who doesn't reduce the moment to a technique but treats it like an emotional experience. Because what she remembers the most is not intensity, it's the security of knowing she could express herself freely. She notices everything, the way your voice softens when she becomes shy, the way your hands slow down instead of speeding up, the way you ask her what feels good without sounding insecure, the way you check in with her in a calm, confident tone. These small moments create something she rarely gets, the freedom to be herself without fear of disappointing you. That freedom is powerful. That freedom is what makes her body respond more naturally. That freedom is what makes her feel emotionally synchronized with you. Women don't want a man who's trying to prove something. They want a man who makes the moment feel like a shared journey, not a task. When you treat their emotions like part of the experience instead of an obstacle, she feels safe enough to be completely honest with you, and honesty creates connection. Connection creates trust, and trust creates depth. And here's the beautiful part most men overlook. When a woman feels emotionally aligned with you, she starts giving you cues without thinking, the way she leans closer when she wants more, the way she holds your arm tighter when she's enjoying the energy, the way her breath changes when she's fully present with you. These cues are her unspoken language. She doesn't always verbalize what she wants, but she expresses it through closeness, through stillness, through softness, through how much she relaxes into you. If you learn to recognize these subtle signals, the entire dynamic changes. You stop guessing and start understanding. You stop rushing and start flowing with her rhythm. And that rhythm, that natural emotional alignment, is what takes the experience from physical to meaningful. Because the more you show her that you value her comfort, her reactions, her pace, the more deeply she connects with you. This is why emotional patience becomes attraction. Because a woman sees it as maturity, as confidence, as a sign that you don't need to control the moment. Instead, you're guiding it with awareness. She feels emotionally seen, mentally appreciated, and physically respected. And when she feels all three at the same time, she opens up in ways you cannot force, ways that only come from genuine connection. That is what creates unforgettable closeness. That is what makes her feel cherished instead of used. And that is what turns a moment into a memory she carries with her long after it ends. And in the end, what truly matters is not how perfect you think you need to be, but how present you choose to be with her. Because for a woman, especially in today's world where everyone feels rushed, judged, and disconnected, the most attractive thing a man can offer is emotional stillness. The feeling that with you, she doesn't have to pretend, perform, or protect herself. She can breathe. She can open up. She can trust her own reactions without overthinking whether she'll be misunderstood. And when she feels that, when she senses that your intention is connection rather than control, she naturally responds with a depth that no technique, no strategy, no quick shortcut can ever replace. This is why women remember men who make them feel emotionally respected, This is value patience, presence, and awareness over intensity. Because at the end of the day, real intimacy isn't created through pressure. It's created through comfort, care, and consistent emotional sensitivity. And when you show her that you're not just focused on the physical moment, but the entire emotional journey surrounding it, she sees you differently. She feels you differently. She trusts you differently. So if you truly want to create unforgettable closeness with a woman, don't chase perfection. Chase understanding. Don't chase impressing her. Chase connecting with her. Don't think about what you're supposed to do. Think about how she's responding and what that response means. Because the man who listens, the man who notices, the man who prioritizes her emotional comfort, that is the man she remembers, that is the man she opens up to, and that is the man she feels safe giving her full emotional energy to. In the end, it's simple. When you honor her comfort, she honors the connection. And that's what makes the experience truly meaningful for both of you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share.